Hi there, this is Srikanth. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about the various ways to declare a string constant in C. So let me launch the IDE. So already I have created a project under the name string2 here, which contains C file. So as we have studied already in the previous lesson, the string is a group of characters, or it's also called as array of characters also. Okay. So as in the previous lesson, we have seen the only one way to declare a string, which is like this. Okay, so char, so let us say it as a string1 of some size, okay, of some range, and we have assigned some value into it. Okay, so we have seen this kind of declaration in the previous lesson. So apart from this, we have so different ways you can declare a string. So another one which is going to be like this. So the range is not mandatory when you are taking, or when you are declaring a string here. Okay, so you can say something like this, Srikanth, sorry, the full name. Okay, so this range here is not mandatory, so when you are declaring a string. Okay, so in the same way, so you can have another kind of declaration, which is using the pointer to a character. Okay, string3. So all these various kinds of various ways to declare a string in C. Okay, so this is a character to a pointer. Okay, so you have already seen a character, a pointer to an integer, and a float, and all other things in the previous lesson. So since we are studying about strings now, so if you want to have a pointer in the concept of strings, then you need to have a pointer to a character. Okay, so the array, the since string is known as an array of characters, and an array which is in turn is known as a pointer. Okay, so we can take assign a string, or you can declare a string using a character pointer. Okay, so the last and final way, which is the old school fashion of assigning a string as group of characters, as we have studied in the previous lesson, using each character individually. So let us assign that one also, S and T and R and I and N and G. Okay, so this is another way of assigning a character. Okay, assigning a string. Okay, so I need not say just 6, you can say also 20 here. Okay, so now, so if you want to print each of them individually, as we know that the format specifier for printing a string is percentage yes. Okay, so from just if you save and run the program, you just get the display the whatever the string value which is assigned in the string one. Okay, so in the same way you can print all the different whatever the strings we have taken, you can print each and every one. So just you can manipulate string2, string3 and string4. Okay, even though in the variables here. Okay, just if you save and run the program, you just get the all the strings printed. Okay, so here you might see one small difference. So you might wonder, so by taking like this, unlimited. Okay, so if you don't skip if you skip the range of characters in the string. Okay, or else if you take a character to a pointer, so here you get a flexibility of taking a very big strings. Okay, so you can take very large since you don't have any limit, or you don't limit yourself, you can take quite a huge strings here. Okay, so in the same way in character pointer also, so I am just pasting the strings. Okay, Okay, so if you just save and run the program, you will get the whatever you have assigned in this file list. Okay, so you might wonder, so what is the difference between taking a character to a pointer and the string and in the form of an array here? Okay, fixed size or or in the form of array and character pointer. Okay, so the difference will be clear. So when you use the size of operator and check the size of individual variables here. The size of string 2 is, can use the size of operator here. Okay, percentage %d. Okay, so in the same way you can have another printf statement to see so how many bytes in the memory, so each of them are going to occupy here. So if you see the size of both of them, so you will get an idea here. Oops, we are having all some sort of silly mistakes. We have skipped the comma here. Okay, so if you check the output when you use the size of operator here, the string 2 occupies 50 bytes. Okay, the string 2 occupies 50 bytes. Since it's occupying 50 bytes because even though you don't specify the maximum range in this empty braces here, in this subscript variable here, so whatever the length it's occupying, it just calculates. Okay, it just calculates whatever the length it occupies and just calculates that value and just prints in the output screen, or it allocates that many bytes. Okay, so it allocates that many bytes. It just took 48 bytes. Okay, so when you are using a character to a pointer to a character, so it just occupies 4 bytes here. Okay, so in this way you can save some memory. So pointer, irrespective of its type, whether integer or float or double, whatever the type, it occupies 4 bytes or 2 bytes depending upon the compiler and system you are using. Okay, so here in this PC, so it's a 32-bit machine, so it occupies 4 bytes for a pointer of any type. So since using this rather than using this kind of declaration, so if you use a pointer to a string, you can save some memory space here. So if you observe here, so it just keeps on allocating that many number of bytes. Okay, so that many number of bytes until the maximum subscript. Okay, so if you use a pointer to a string, it just allocates 4 bytes, and 4 bytes is always better than having a huge space like 48 bytes. Okay, so in big systems and more powerful PCs, this might not be a hurdle. So when you're writing programs for smaller systems or legacy systems, so you need to worry more about the memory. Okay, so one more point you have to remember in declaring a string is, so here we have taken a 20 as the maximum value of our string here. So if you keep on assigning more than 20, or if the length exceeds more than 20 here, so now if you see, save and run the program, so immediately until this, okay, so until 20 it doesn't have any problem. Okay, so after 20 it just puts the garbage value. Okay, it just keeps some garbage. Okay, so in the same way, so here also. Okay, so if you don't say anything, and just if you don't keep a range in the subscript array, and if you keep on initializing your array, so here the same problem occurs here also. So if you observe in the string 4, you just get the string displayed and the remaining until 20. Okay, so the length here, the remaining strings. Okay, or else the string 4 previously I have taken it as 20, or so the remaining things will be kept as garbage here. Okay, so that is the drawback of using this so unassigned so unassigned or not using the subscript. Okay, so if you say 6 or if you assign some value, okay, so okay, so same so this is the basic stuff about strings here. To summarize the concept, so we have seen the various declarations of strings here. Okay, so the first declaration is using a string, normal string, using a character array. Okay, using a character array. So the second one, so this range or a subscript is not mandatory while using strings using a character array. Okay, so you can simply skip it, and then the compiler will automatically assign the number of the length of the string, and it reserves that many bytes of memory. So if you observe an output here, string to 48 bytes. Okay, so length, that means that the length of this whole string is 48 here. So if you just cut short it to just so 7 or 8, okay, 9. Okay, so whatever the length, it allocates that many bytes in the memory and uses it. Okay, so when you're using a pointer to a character, it just allocates 4 bytes, even though your string is huge, or just cut short it into a few words here, it just allocates 4 bytes. Okay, so in the same way, the last and final one, which is the old school way of assigning the string, so just in the form of a character array. So you can take a string and you can assign using this braces, and so all the commas separating everything. Okay, so the only difference between using a string in the format of an array and using a character pointer is that you can save some space when if you use it as a character pointer. Okay, so if you take a character pointer and if you assign the string, then you can save some space of bytes in memory. Okay, so this is the basic stuff about initializing or declaring how to declare the strings in various types. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.